Have you ever heard of Employer of Record in Dubai? It lets you work from anywhere in the world for your company. You get sweet tax breaks, better healthcare, and an awesome Dubai lifestyle. And it's good for your company. Instead of dealing with the headache of setting up a company branch in a new country, let the EOR look after all of the boring stuff. Payroll, visas, legal issues. It even answers the burning question, is this legal? Spoiler, it is. But hold on a second. You probably have a ton of questions, right? Like, what exactly is Employer of Record? How do I set it up legally in Dubai and other Emirates? And if I'm a remote worker in Europe or US, what do I need to know about taxes and everything else? Don't worry, I've got you covered in this video. I'm going to break everything down that you need to know about Employer of Record. So let's dive in. So hi everybody, my name is Liam Doherty and I am the Corporate Growth Director at Connect Group. I've been helping companies, their staff, individuals, families to set up in Dubai for over 8 years. I started in recruitment in London in 2013, and this is where I learned that helping people to thrive is what I like doing. What I can say is that I have helped Connect Resources and Connect Group to achieve over 300 clients in 4 years, and I've seen every possible challenge that can come from EOR, from visas, immigration. I know exactly what companies go through when they try to expand to the UAE. So firstly, I'd say banking benefits. Working with an EOR that is established in this country can give you more benefits than joining a new company or a startup. Secondly is taxes. I think it's a no-brainer that everybody receives no income taxes in the UAE, so you're setting yourself up to save hard cash. And thirdly, medical insurance. The UAE has top-class hospitals and insurance. If you compare it with medical systems in Europe or US, there is no comparison. Health is wealth and all that jazz. And then we have Dubai lifestyle. I think this is the main reason the UAE would retain its residents. Once you live the Dubai lifestyle for a while, the ease of everything, it's hard to adapt anywhere else. Come to Dubai, Habibi. And then lastly, I'd say me. If you do EOR in the UAE, you'll be working with me. And I'm great. I can give a bit of a story. So last week, actually, I had a call with one client where their remote worker was here. He was actually working under a visa of a distributor because they export foods. He said to me, this Employer of Record, it's exactly what I'm looking for. I went on a call with his company and I spoke for about 25 minutes about what the process is, what Employer of Record is. And afterwards, his company just turned to me and were like, this is exactly what we want. Ooh. And he said to me, is this available worldwide, this EOR? And I was like, yeah, it's available worldwide. We handle the Middle East, but there's companies that do it in countries like Europe and US. And he said, I just set up a company in Philippines and I moved an employee there. If I'd have known that this was there, I wouldn't have done that, you know. So this is a new aspect, EOR. People don't know about it. Trying to get the knowledge out there. This trend is moving. Companies want to have a way to move remote workers and to give them the option to work anywhere in the world. If you're a developer, for example, a software developer, you can work anywhere in the world, and why shouldn't you? And why should your company not give you that aspect of your work to go, tomorrow you can move to this country because that's what maybe your personal life needs, or that's what your family life needs. But anybody should be given the opportunity to work where they want. And that's what Employer of Record is made for. But again, our clients just always say the same thing. If I knew this existed, why would I set up a company? If you want to hear more about moving your remote workers or moving your company here through the Employer of Record system, set up a meeting with me or my team, or click on the link below. We can help you out tomorrow. We'll set up a call, we'll have a coffee. Let's take it forward from there. So when I moved here in 2016, a lot of my Irish friends had companies in Ireland and the UAE, and they said I never use my trade license in the UAE. If only there was a way that I could have a visa without setting up a company or having my company here in the UAE. And that's where I was like, okay, I have a solution for this, and that's Connect Resources. Yeah, I suppose when you set up a company in the UAE, one of the things that you're not told is that when you renew that license, that price will go up. This is common knowledge, but a lot of people don't know that when they see get a license for 5,000, 6,000. And that's where my friend said, oh, I got the renewal for my license. It's cost me now 10,000 dirhams, 20,000 dirhams. I don't need to pay this money because I don't use that license. And that's where I come in, where get rid of your license, come on the EOR, problem solved. Essentially, a lot of people set up a company just to get a visa. So I need a visa, and I think that the only way I can do business here is to have a license and then I get my visa. That's not the case. But for a lot of activities, if you have a company outside the UAE, you can still invoice through that company, and you just need the visa through an EOR provider. In my experience, we've helped a lot of companies that were moving a number of people at one time. And why you would do that is, one, you can stop all of the overhead costs, so office space, you have to get a payroll officer, a HR officer, maybe a legal admin, a legal firm involved to set up the company.
This is fine.
And what we do is take away all of that. You can literally within 2 weeks have all of your staff working here in the UAE and under a company that handles the compliance, the payroll, the legal side, the HR, everything under one roof, already set up. So there's no overhead cost on you as a company. We had one company that said to us, we want EOR for the simple reason that we want to quickly move into market in the UAE, but after 6 months we will set up our own license and we'll move all the employees to our own license. I thought that would be the case, but now these employees are here 2 years under our visa. Why would they want to change when everything is going so smooth? They've already set up their company, but from an overheads, from a operations cost wise, why would you want to move all your employees and have to handle the immigration, the compliance, the HR, the payroll, etc. When you're setting up a company in the UAE, the first thing that you need is to work with a corporate services provider, a company that can help you find what activity you want to do when you're setting up. Then you also need to get an establishment card. You also need to get a bank account. You also need to then work with a health insurance company that will help you get a health insurance for your employees. That you need to then get quota, so visa quota, so that you can actually hire your employees. That doesn't include then hiring a HR person that can handle the contracts of these employees, hiring a legal firm to potentially handle the contracts with your clients and contracts with your employees and all of the legal side of that. And then you need a payroll officer who can set you up with WPS, which again is another task that takes time. That payroll officer will need to be then working month by month to do payroll for your employees. These are all of the steps involved. If you work with an EOR, you don't have to worry about any of this, just sending the salary of your employee locally to Dubai, and then it's released from our end to the employee. Simple. So what is funny is that traditionally EOR, the abbreviation, is actually a process that increases the amount of crude oil that can be extracted from an oil field. This is very boring. So when we were marketing at the beginning of time, EOR, a lot of the leads we received were people looking to extract this oil from an oil field, which I don't know anything about. The pandemic then and the COVID spread and the impact of growth and employer of record, essentially it was an add-on to what we call contractors, which is an old time way to hire employees as contractors through a company. They're technically not your staff, but they work for you. It happens in Europe and US, you see it a lot, that contractors is the statement that was made to employees that are not 100% in your company, but are working for you. COVID brought a rise to remote work and remote workers, and this in turn brought a rise to people looking for areas to remote work. More and more jobs now are work anywhere or work where you want, and so this is where Employer of Record was born. It's a simple and compliant solution to work wherever you want in the world, as long as your company are okay with it. There's an old Chinese proverb. It says the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and the second best time is now. One of the most common things we hear from our customers is that they wish they'd taken our EOR services years ago due to issues that they have from payroll, immigration, HR, compliance. This is a common thread that we hear. The main issue with payroll is companies thinking that they can still payroll their employees when they're outside the country and don't understand the process to set up their payroll here through WPS. So what we hear then is companies coming to us saying, Liam, I've got my system blocked, can we move the employees to EOR? Can we change this up? Can you set up my WPS? I don't know what I'm doing. And this is why EOR stops this problem. Other main issue is companies coming to me saying, Liam, we can't get quota. We need to get a bigger office size. I thought we would have got quota based on the office size that we have. How do we solve this now? And again, this is problems that they didn't think were going to come up. If they just used EOR, it all would have been fine. A lot of companies said to me 2 years ago, we'll use EOR solution, Liam, but definitely we're going to set up a company within a year and move all the employees. But newsflash, they haven't done it. Why? Because they don't need to do it.
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
You have more time to focus on your business actual activities. You don't have to go through the pain of the tedious and time-consuming visa process. And most importantly, your employees will always be paid on time, every time. As they say in Anchorman, 60% of the time, all the time.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, payroll is a key factor in EOR. We actually should be measured on payroll accuracy, in my opinion. Henry Ford once said, quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Most payroll people are quiet, they have so much responsibility, but they ooze quality and accuracy in each payroll. It's such a tough job. You make one mistake and you're the worst person in the world. It takes special people to work in payroll. One story I have is that there was one company came to me saying, I'm sorry, Liam, but your price is too high for EOR. I'm going to work with a different company. I asked them, can you please share with me the trade license of the company? They shared with me a trade license. It said something like facilities management or trading or something like this. And what is happening in the UAE is some companies are going out, getting a facilities management license. They receive 200, 300 visas under that license. They're selling these visas to companies and calling themselves an EOR. This is the danger. Do not do this and ask me to check the license. No, so then this company came back to me saying, can you check this license of this EOR that's given us a better price? I checked the license. I said, this is a facilities management company. They're not licensed to sponsor your employees. What can happen here is if Ministry of Human Resources go around to your office, they'll come in, they'll say, okay, I've looked at the employees' visas, and actually these are all illegally working under your company. And this is the danger. The fines are massive. They can be up to 50,000 per employee that's illegally working. Do not take a chance on working with a company that's giving you small fees. EOR is a big process. It's a lengthy process. It takes time. What I would say is that if a company is offering you peanuts for it, then there's probably something wrong with the compliance, the license, why they're offering you at a small price. Basically, what I would say is it's common knowledge. There's Verify Business License, which is a website by the government of the UAE. You can actually go on there, type in the company's name, and you can find exactly what license they have. If it does not state on-demand labour supply, if it states recruitment, facilities management, employment services, it's not legal. It has to state on-demand labour supply. This is the license. It costs a lot of money to get this license, hence why EOR companies have to stick to their compliance, and hence why EOR companies are more expensive than a company with visas handing them out. If I got a dirham for every time a client said to me this, I'd be a very, very rich man in Dubai. The answer is it's fully compliant and legal, and I'll tell you why. We hold what you call an on-demand labour supply licence, which is approved by the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation. This allows us to sponsor employees on behalf of companies and outsource these staff anywhere in the UAE. Be aware when you're choosing an EOR, a lot don't have this licence and therefore are doing it illegally. And double check your EOR provider's license, as this could be a massive compliance risk to you. I once had a client say to me, Liam, this all sounds too good to be true. Then I showed him some of the companies that we're doing EOR for, and he was like, okay, if they're going to do it, I'll definitely do it. Legal compliance is our selling point. The CEO is a qualified lawyer, so he won't let anything fall through the cracks, even if I try to. Good question. Okay, so for starters, you would need to know if you're allowed to work with the company that you're with. If your company has a work anywhere policy, for example, then perfect, this will work. If so, we need to have a contract with the employer in Europe and then a contract with you, the employee. One of the challenges we have with remote workers is saying, I want to come to the UAE, but my company is not accepting charges, costs, And then it's our job to explain and show that employer why they can save on taxes, on social contribution, on various elements, that they will actually save money by moving their employee to Dubai. The process to onboard somebody usually takes about 2 weeks, and the beauty of it is that you can arrive in the UAE with your work permit and be able to start work from day one. There's no lapse, there's no sitting in hotels. You can start work from the day you arrive. If you're a remote worker and your company is allowing you to work anywhere and the UAE is where you want to go, scrap all of your electricity bills in Europe, come and make the plunge and come to Dubai. Also, if you're an employer who has remote workers and you want to move these remote workers to Dubai, then please click on the link below and we can have a free consultation call to discuss your needs.